Today, I'm taking over Chelsea because they're a joke of a football club. Sure, they might have won the Conference League and the Club World Cup last season, but they just went an entire month with one Prem win. They've spent billions of pounds on mid players, the wingers are useless, and now even Maresca has left the club. This is what £1 billion buys you? Where are the superstars, man? But don't you worry, I'm taking Chelsea back to the very top by winning them the Champions League, but more importantly, securing their first ever treble to make them the world's best team once again. So as I take over Chelsea Football Club, I've been given 10 seasons to go ahead and fix them and get them the treble. And boys, there's good news as I'm starting fresh at the start of the season. However, immediately the board welcomes me to my office. Welcome, Mr. Salinas. We're excited for you to take over. But just remember, this is a selling club. You're not allowed to sign anybody over the age of 25 or buy anybody above an 85 overall. And at any moment, we can come in and tell you to sell a player. I then respond, look, it's great to be here. However, I want to make you a deal. If I can win you a Premier League with your style, you will allow me to not have any restrictions whatsoever. Boy responds, what the hell? Let's do it. So yes, boys, this is the Chelsea side I am taking over from the start of the season. And of course, we have some incredible players. We have the likes of Moises Caicedo, Cole Palmer, and we can't forget about one of the best wonder kids in world football, Estevao. But to be honest, when you take a look at this team, there is a lot of problems. And one of the issues, you will see that only 4 players are above an 82 overall. How is this team supposed to win Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues when they don't even have superstars? But to be honest, there are 3 bigger problems in this squad that I need to solve right away. The first one is finding the perfect fit for all of these players in a brand new formation. Now, when I take a look at the squad, there's 2 main weaknesses, and that is the center back positions as well as the winger positions. Someone like Garnacho has lots of potential. He has not been good for a very long time, and Neto was just a waste of 70 million, while Tosin, Chalobah, and the rest of the center backs just don't have enough experience. So when it comes to looking for a brand new formation, I think we need to prioritize getting the best out of Cole Palmer, our most creative player by far. And to get the best out of Palmer, I think a 4-2-1-3 is the best way, but having him in that right wing spot as an inside forward to either shoot or create. And this currently is the best lineup we can field with all of the Chelsea players. With Cole Palmer playing on the right, that means we're gonna have to try and convert Estevao to be the left-hand sided winger. While as good as Reece James has done in the midfield, I don't think that's his best position. And now with the first problem out of the way, the second problem we need to solve is getting some experience and leadership in this side. If you take a look at all the ages of this squad, there is more players under 25 years old than there is over 25. They might have the youngest squad in the Premier League. However, like the board mentioned, one of the transfer restrictions we do have is not signing any superstars, but we can't sign anybody above the age of 25. So whatever replacements we want to go ahead and sign, I have to go for at least 25-year-olds to get the most experience possible. And of course, the final issue we need to solve is bring in transfers to help this team start to do well. And when it comes to transfers we need to look out for, I've changed around the players a bit. I want to go ahead and trust in Joao Pedro by playing him in the cam position because he's more of a false 9. And so Fernandes has moved to DM while Reece James is back in his right back position, which does mean we need to sign a brand new number 9 as Liam Delap is just a backup. Another starting center back with experience because Fofana is injury prone and not good enough yet. And potentially a brand new goalkeeper. Sanchez has been good in real life, but in FIFA, he's not rated highly yet. And of course, I've also made a transfer list of players who I don't believe are gonna make it here at Chelsea, and loaning out the multitude of youngsters we have available in hopes that they can come back in the future. And up first, I went ahead and looked for a center back where I found the only 3 options available, and that is Mark Guehi, Daniel Vivian, and Matthijs de Ligt. All of these 3 players have been playing football for a very long time and have all captain at the highest level. So to be honest, any of these signings would be perfect for what I'm looking for, and they also fit the restrictions that has been set to me. But unfortunately, Mark Guehi has rejected the chance to come back as he says he wants to help Palace for one more season and would love to go on a free to either Liverpool or Madrid in the summer. So that leaves us with Matthijs de Ligt and Daniel Vivian. And controversially, for around 50 million, I am bringing in Matthijs de Ligt. I know he isn't the best center back, but he did captain Ajax as a teenager. I would have loved to sign the likes of Alessandro Bastoni or Marquinhos, but I currently do have a limit of 25 years old. But we need to win the Premier League ASAP. And as de Ligt has now joined the starting 11 as our right-footed center back, I've decided to give Robert Sanchez a go. So now let's go ahead and look for a number 9. And immediately I found the best 3 options I can go ahead and get. The first one being FC Porto Samu, which is the perfect for the Chelsea project. Young and a lot of potential, but for me, doesn't have enough experience. While the other 2 in Gonçalo Ramos, who scored a hat-trick at the World Cup, and Dusan Vlahovic, who from time to time could be a bagsman. Should I go for experience here or take another punt like Chelsea usually do and sign somebody for the future? And I can't lie, I'm taking a huge risk as for 30 million. I have signed Dusan Vlahovic, who is probably the the most inconsistent of the bunch, but he has played the most football, and I'm gonna hope and beg that this is the time that he becomes the world-class striker he was supposed to be. And now that the brand new signings have joined the squad, we have successfully loaned and transferred every single player we had on our transfer list. So of course, there's one thing left to do is go to the end of the season, see how we do, and hopefully win the Premier League as soon as possible. And while we're simulating to the end of the season, winning the treble isn't the only thing I want to do. I want to go ahead and win 5 Premier League titles to get Chelsea to become the 3rd club with 10 of them. I also want to get them their first ever Ballon d'Or winner, but not just one. I want 3 different Ballon d'Or winners here at Chelsea. And finally, I want to go ahead and go invincible so Arsenal fans can shut up about being the only club with a golden trophy. And boys, halfway through the season, things are not looking good so far as we're sitting in 10th place. However, we're only a couple points separated from the top of the pack, and I can't help but think it's a goalkeeping issue with Robert Sanchez. He only has 5 clean sheets in 25 appearances and only went up a +1. Even if I wanted to replace him, is there anybody under the age of 25 that's better than this guy? And yes, boys, there is. We actually have 3 options to sign that goalkeeper. The first one is Diego Costa. Unfortunately, he just turned 26 and I cannot approach him. The second option is Marco Canersecchi, but sadly he went up a +1 this season, is now at an 85, meaning I cannot sign him. So that leaves us with our only option in Georgi Mamardashvili, 84 overall and at 25 years old, right below the restrictions. The question is, will Liverpool allow him to join us? And yes, boys, they've accepted a deal, but it's huge. For 100 million, we're bringing in Mamardashvili. This goalkeeper signing has to work out. If not, my job could be in danger, or a lot of these players might leave the club if we don't finish in European places. So Mamardashvili is now the starting goalkeeper. Hopefully this solves all our problems. If not, that's 100 mil down the drain. And who else but Palmer to be a top goal scorer with 26 and 14. Vlahovic did not have a bad season with 16 goals. 11 for Garnacho, 9 for João Pedro, 8 and 12 for Enzo Fernandez, and 8 and 2 for Esteval. And the good news just continues as this whole squad is very young and all continue to grow, as Caicedo and Cole Palmer have both reached that 90 overall. But who knows, Garnacho is sneaking up to overall with Esteval. I wonder who's gonna start in the next couple seasons. And yes, our problems were solved as Chelsea climbed all the way up to the top 4 once again in the Champions League. And sadly, we don't win the FA Cup, but we win our first trophy in the Carabao versus Newcastle. However, the Champions League was won by Real Madrid as we got knocked out in the playoffs to Inter Milan. We need to do better, man. And to kick off season number 2, Nico Jackson has signed on a permanent deal to Bayern Munich. However, the board have welcomed me to their office and say, that was a great first season for you, Mr. Salinas. But as per usual, you know how we run this club. If you go ahead and take a look at the transfer list, we've transfer listed a bunch of players that we believe could profit from, and we have a mix of players who just came back from loan, maybe some new signings, and some of your starters. Until you win the Premier League, we're gonna continue to run this club the way we want to. And boys, I'm very nervous to take a look at the transfer list. Please don't be any amazing starter. And so no Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. These guys are getting rid of both of my double pivots. Why would they even do this, man? I cannot believe this is happening, but here are some more players that they've transfer listed. Someone like Anselmino. I'm never gonna get to use him. And up first, Enzo Fernandez has left for 150 million to Arsenal. Why would this board sell to their rival club, man? These guys just care about money. I need to win that Prem soon. And there goes our second player as Moises Caicedo is joining Man City. Another sell to our direct rival for 200 million. Why couldn't you sell him to like Real Madrid or something, man? So there we have it. We've sold absolutely everybody the board wanted to sell. These guys were serious when it comes to selling. And that leaves us with this dismantled squad, man. Man City and Arsenal getting strengthened. I don't think we're winning the Prem anytime soon. But when it comes to players we need to sign, we definitely need a new CDM to replace Enzo Fernandez. I think I'm gonna give Andre Santos a chance to replace Caicedo. But to be honest, other than that, I think our squad is perfectly fine. But before I went ahead and made the signings, Rich James comes into my office and says, look boss, this club is currently run terribly. Trust that I will never leave this side, and I hope that some of these players will not leave either. I need to take us to the very top. We just need to win the Premier League to change the board's mind. And boys, I can't lie, it's very nice to know that we have at least one player in our side, and that's the captain, Reece James. So when it comes to the CDM position, I actually found 2 incredible options. The first one is Eduardo Camavinga, who's at an 84 overall. Hasn't reached an 85, so we can go in for him. While the second option is somebody more like Enzo, and that is Pablo Barrios, who's an 83 overall under the age of 25. And unfortunately, my first option, Camavinga, has rejected. But it's okay, because for 100 million, I've brought in Pablo Barrios, who is not a bad player whatsoever. And who knows, maybe down the line, this would turn out to be the right signing as he joins Chelsea FC. And as Pablo Barrios joins the starting 11, this is what the team is looking like. But I'm gonna be honest, the board is harsh. I also need to start being harsh. So I welcome Joao Pedro and Dusan Vlahovic into my office because they're the two players I'm unconvinced by as of right now. I'd go ahead and let them know Dusan Vlahovic and Joao Pedro expect a lot more from my strikers and my center attacking midfielders. Dusan, if you don't get 25 goals, and Joao Pedro, if you don't get 15 plus assists, I will have the unfortunate task of replacing you guys, because if we ever want to win trophies here at Chelsea, I need to set high expectations. And boys, I know it's a little harsh, but if we ever want to win the Premier League to get the board off our back, I need to be this type of manager. Make sure to subscribe and comment down below on how you would fix Chelsea. And to be honest, it's another pretty good season. We maintained in 4th place. However, we did not improve. And sadly, we did not win the FA Cup. We won back-to-back Carabao Cups. I'll take another trophy. But when it comes to the Champions League, Madrid won it once again. As somehow, I think we did not make the Champions League, even though we finished in 4th. But surely we would have won the Europa League. And no, it's won by Benfica, as we lost in the semis to Villarreal. But it looks like Vlahovic is safe in my book with 26 goals in our competitions, just exceeding the expectations. 24 and 12 for Cole Palmer, 16 and 3 for Joao Pedro. Didn't even get double-digit assists. I can't lie, even if he's an 84 overall, I think it might be time to sign another cam. 13 and 2 for Esteval, 12 and 2 for Garnacho, and 9 and 10 for Reece James, our captain. But at least the growth of our squad continues to happen, as Esteval is about to hit a 90 overall. Both our double pivots are at an 86, and our defense is looking a little bit stronger. But of course, we still have 0 Premier League, 0 Ballon d'Or winners, no treble or invincible win. Let's hope the board doesn't get rid of anyone next season. And there is great news, as in season number 3, the board has not transfer listed anybody. Finally, some consistency. However, there is bad news, as our best player, Cole Palmer, has walked into the office and says, "Look, Mr. Salinas, I can be honest, I've always liked you, but I've been here at Chelsea for 5 years, and it's an absolute joke how inconsistent this team is. I hate to let you down this way, but I'm handing in my transfer request, as I'm reaching the prime of my career, and I want to be consistently competing for the best trophies." I then respond, "You know what, Cole Palmer, I completely understand. It sucks that it has to end this way." So our best player in Cole Palmer has been transfer listed, and boys, I'm not sure how we're gonna do without him. So I go completely desperate and walk into the board's office and I say, "Look, man, Cole Palmer has just requested to leave, and I don't think we could do this without him. Please just allow me to sign one superstar, and I promise you, I will bring glory to this club, because without Cole Palmer, it's going to be very difficult to get this club back to where it belongs." The board then responds, "Okay, Mr. Salinas, you get one superstar signing, and you will not be allowed to bring in any other superstars until you win a Premier League, and we will continue to sell our players when we see fit." And boys, there he goes for 200 million. Cole Palmer is joining Liverpool. I cannot believe he didn't at least go to La Liga or something. I feel incredibly betrayed right now. So now, boys, this is what our squad is looking like. I know I did say I was gonna go ahead and get rid of Joao Pedro, but I think I have a better idea. I've gone ahead and converted Joao Pedro to a striker, and he went up to an 87 overall. I know in the past I said he wasn't much of a striker, but we're gonna go ahead and give him a go, which means we now have Dusan Vlahovic as backup, and I'm gonna go ahead and sign a superstar cam in hopes that Esteval can completely replace Cole Palmer and Garnacho can finally step up and be that world-class talent we all know and love. And boys, for the first time in my career, I can go all out, and I found 3 of the best center attacking mids. The first option is Fermin Lopez, 85 overall, somebody we were never able to sign. The second option is Arda Güler, who's at an 85 overall now, but if I convert him to a cam, he might go up in overall. But I think that world-class option is Jamal Musiala. He is a former Chelsea Academy graduate, now at a 92. I have to go big or go home if I ever want to win the Premier League. And yes, boys, we have done it for 250 million. I have finally made a signing that I wanted, a superstar in Jamal Musiala. This signing has to work out in these next 2 seasons. If not, the board is going to continue to sell players, and Chelsea will never win the treble or become the world's best team once again. And Jamal Musiala has joined the starting 11. I think he's the missing piece. Don't be surprised if we win the Premier League this season. And what a season for Joao Pedro, 44 goals. Maybe I should have started as a striker all those years ago. But 26 and 6 for Esteval, perfect. 17 and 2 for Vlahovic, 13 and 21 for Andres Santos. While our superstar signing did amazing in 10 goals and 16 assists. I knew we made the right signing. And just take a look at the growth of the squad. Esteval is flirting with that 90 overall. Our entire midfield is also about to be at a 90. While Marco Corella is easily the best left back in world football. But no, boys, we just missed out on the Premier League title by a single point. I had the right idea, the team just couldn't get over the line. But we lose in the final of the Carabao Cup. We also lose the FA Cup to to Arsenal, 2 finals, 2 losses. And for a 3rd year in a row, Real Madrid win the Champions League as we got knocked out in the semis. This is my best ever season, even though I didn't win a trophy. And of course, we don't get a Ballon d'Or winner, but with Pedro's season, I thought he had a chance. And to kick off season number 4, the board welcomes me to his office. And they let me know, again, you've done a great job. You just missed out on the Prem title. But it's time to sell a couple more players, but you're lucky. This time it's only 3. Go ahead and check out who it is. Now, boys, please do not be anybody too incredible. We need our starting 11, and it's Chalobah, Vlahovic, and Joao Pedro. What is wrong with these guys trying to sell our superstars? To be honest, I understand Dusan Vlahovic, 28. He's not getting any younger. In his prime, we could get a lot of money. But Joao Pedro, the other striker we have, oh, come on, man. However, at least there's good news. We still have Liam Delap, now at an 83 overall. But I think I'm going to sign somebody to compete alongside him. However, the news does not stop there, as Cucurella has walked into my office and says, when I first joined Chelsea, I knew that I wanted to leave one day and join Barcelona. But I told myself I wouldn't leave until I know somebody can replace me. And well, boss, it's that time. Jamal Hato is ready. Allow me to go back to my home club. So there we have it. For 60 million, Cucurella has gone to Barcelona. For 80 million, Vlahovic has gone to Man City. And finally, for 150 million, Joao Pedro has gone to Real Madrid. At least only one player went to rival club. And now this is the squad we are left with. To be honest, not too many significant downgrades. But I'm not sure if I can trust Liam Delap to lead the line all season. So of course, I'm going to go in for a striker to compete with him, as well as a backup left back since Hato is now our starter. And surprisingly, when it comes to the strikers, I actually found 3 incredible options. The first one is the lowest rated. Is Eli Jr. Krupi, who is now playing for Newcastle, 22, 82 overall. Is not too bad. But the second option is someone we've heard about before, and it's Samu. I almost went for him in season 1, but at 84 still and just about to hit 25, think it might be time to bring him in. But the last signing is my favorite, Jonathan Duran, 24 years old, 84 still at Al-Nassr. This guy balled out in the Premier League a couple seasons ago before cashing out. Maybe it's time he comes back to England. So for 75 million, I've gone ahead and brought in Jonathan Duran from Al-Nassr. And for 63 million, I've brought in Nico O'Reilly from Man City to be the backup to Jamal Hato. And thankfully, our team is still looking great. I want to win the Premier League so bad because I would like a superstar to replace the likes of Matthijs de Ligt and others. But to be honest, this might be the season, but I need to set some expectations. I go ahead and bring in Alejandro Garnacho to my office. Alejandro, your career has been a mixed bag, but recently you've been incredible, but it's time to cement your name into superstardom. If you can get 25 goals this season in all competitions, you'll be a permanent starter for years to come, but if you don't, I'm sorry, I'll have to let you go. Garnacho says, I completely understand. Thank you for all the chances you've given me. I'll try my best to not let you down. And now with the expectations set, it's time that we win our first Prem title, man. Come on, Chelsea. And yes, boys, we have finally done it. We won the Premier League, but we almost went invincible. We lost 1 game. Come on, man. But that means we no longer have any transfer restrictions. But we miss out on the FA Cup. But yes, we win the FA Cup, which means the treble is not on because it has to be the FA Cup. But boys, we're actually in a Champions League final against Liverpool. If we would have won the FA Cup, we could have won the treble in only 4 seasons. In Liverpool won't be easy as they have Cody Gakpo, Cole Palmer, who betrayed us, Isaac and McAllister, and of course, Bertrand Ekitike. But they're not the only ones, as John Duran has been incredible in the Champions League and was incredible all around with 39 goals. I knew I made the right signing. 25 and 12 for Esteval. He's been amazing. 17 and 4 for Tyreek George. That's insane. 15 and 13 for Reece. 14 and 17 for Santos. And I can't lie, boys, Garnacho has let me down. Now with no transfer restrictions, I think I'm bringing in a superstar left winger. But the question is, can we win our first Champions League as Hato and Co were all injured? If we win this game, we could get a Ballon d'Or winner here, and it's a 3-2 victory as Paez, Lavia, and Duran get the goals. But of course, the squad continues to grow as Esteval is now at club 90. Musiala's at a 94. Barrios and Santos also at 90s. Wahato's at an 86. Kowu at an 88. And the rest of our team is looking great. But did we get our first Ballon d'Or winner? And yes, Esteval has done it. He wins our first Ballon d'Or. Now that means I need 2 different Ballon d'Or winners to complete that challenge. So we are now in season number 5 and we're allowed to sign superstars now. And that means I want to go ahead and bring in a superstar center back. Shout out to De Ligt, who's been incredible, as well as a superstar left winger. And I think I'm going to transfer list Garnacho as well. Just wasn't meant to be here. So I've gone ahead and transfer listed Garnacho as he walks into my office and says, look, boss, I completely understand why you're transfer listing me and why it didn't work out here, but I'm telling you right now, you're gonna regret this. I then respond, maybe I will, but the future here at Chelsea, sadly, I do not see you in it, and I wish you the best at whatever club you join. And when it comes to superstar left wingers, I have 3 amazing options we can go for. The first one being in Kenan Yildiz, who of course is a center attacking mid, but can play on the left-hand side at 20 24, 89 overall. The second option we do have is Jeremy Doku. Yes, he's playing for a rival club, but for the right amount of money, I'm sure he'll join up. And the final option we do have is Kavica Kvaratskhelia, 90 overall in his prime at 28. He'd be the perfect signing for Chelsea. And while deciding on which player to sign, now that Garnacho will be leaving the club, it gives me the chance to sign a new winger of what I want. In this brand new left winger, I want a two-footed winger who's a chance-creating machine and can get out of tight spaces. And when it comes to these three players, I think the worst player at doing that right now is Kenan Yildiz. So it's between Jeremy Doku and Kavica Kvaratskhelia. And boys, I have made my decision, and Kavica Kvaratskhelia is joining the club for 30 million plus Alejandro Garnacho. He fits all the criteria as he does have 5-star weak foot. The new era of Chelsea is beginning with Kavica. And for the center back position for 40 million plus Wesley Fofana, I've decided to bring in an 88 overall Dayot Upamecano to go ahead and start next to Levi Colwill. And even though it's a little bit, our team has improved drastically. I see no reason why we can't go ahead and defend our Premier League title and maybe even win the treble already. But before we go to the end of the season, John Duran has come into my office and says, look boss, I was the best striker in the world last season. Congrats to Esteval for winning the Ballon d'Or. But if I don't win the Ballon d'Or this season, it's clearly the club's problem. They don't have enough PR. So if I don't win it, I'll be handing in a transfer request at the start of next year. And man, John Duran does have a bad attitude. As much as I feel disrespected, I hope he wins it because he was incredible last year. And what a season for Esteval. 40 goals and 1 assist, 24 and 15 for Santos. He's been incredible, man. 21 and 11 for Kvaratskhelia. Jonathan Duran with 18 and 1. I don't think he's winning the Ballon d'Or, which sadly, he's probably going to want to leave the club. And our incredible squad continues to grow as Nico O'Reilly has overtaken Jero Hato in that left back position. But 4 of our defenders are all out of 90 overall. And yes, we have won a second Premier League. 100 points. We will take that. But not invincible yet. We do win the Community Shield. We also win the FA Cup, which means the treble is on. We win the Carabao Cup as well. We've won everything in England. We also win the UEFA Super Cup. Now give me that Champions League again. And no, sadly, the Champions League was won by Barcelona. We lost in the semis to Madrid. But regardless, we get a Ballon d'Or winner, and it is Esteval once again, but sadly, it doesn't count to the number as we won 3 total different ones. So in season number 6, John Duran walks into my office and says, I told you, boss, if I didn't win the Ballon d'Or, I was gonna leave, so I'm handing in my transfer request. I then respond, look, I do understand you want to win the Ballon d'Or, but I don't think it has anything to do with PR. Esteval has been incredible these past 2 seasons. You're just unlucky to miss out. John Duran then replies, my decision stands. I'll be leaving Chelsea Football Club. So John Duran is now transfer listed, which means we need to find another striker. Or maybe we should give Liam Delap a go up top. However, he wasn't the only one that stepped into my office. Reece James comes in and says, I've made the decision to have life-changing surgery, which will put me on the shelf for the entire year. I hope you understand, but maybe give Hot to O'Reilly or sign another right back, and hopefully I could be back stronger than ever in the brand new season. So there we have it. Reece James will be out for 394 days due to his hamstring, which is his most common injury. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and bring in another right back. We still have Malo Gusto as backup, but I would like to bring in a superstar, and we'll see what happens with Reece James and the rest of the right backs when and if he comes back. But we also have to go ahead and find a brand new striker as Duran wants to leave the side. And I think it was time we finally brought him in. I've been talking about him all takeover. We're bringing in Samu for a straight sub from Jonathan Duran, as he's gonna be our new number 9, even though he's 2 ratings lower than what Duran was. However, when it comes to right backs, there isn't a single player that's better than Reece James out there in the world. However, I have found 3 options. The first one being a prime Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's playing at Leipzig, former Cobham Academy graduate, and Tino Livramento, who's at Atletico, and finally, 25-year-old Rico Lewis, 84 overall, who's at Stuttgart. Who should I go for here, man? At the end of the day, for 60 million, I actually went for Rico Lewis. He isn't the best defender out of the 3. If it doesn't work out, Reece James hopefully comes back in a year's time. And this is what the brand new Chelsea side is looking like in season number 6. I hope we don't have to sign another striker. We've been signing so many already. But now with 2 Premier League trophies, 1 Ballon d'Or winner, we still have a long way from completing our challenges like the Invincibles and the treble. And yes, boys, it's another Premier League title with 100 points, but with 1 loss. We do not go invincible. Come on, Chelsea. But we win the Community Shield again. We win the FA Cup once again, which means the treble is on. And we win the Carabao Cup. Once again, we win every trophy in England. But sadly, the Champions League was won by Liverpool, as this time we got knocked out in the quarters. Bad performance from us this year. And it's another great season for Esteval. 33 and 13, 28 for Samu. Let's go. 27 and 14 for Cavara, 20 and 22 for Musiala, 19 and 20 for Santos. And boys, everybody in the starting 11 but Lewis and Samu out of 90, as Samu is only 1 rating away from hitting that club. I'm not sure if we're gonna get a Ballon d'Or winner, but if we do, I hope it's not Esteval again. And a Chelsea player wins the Ballon d'Or again, but it's Esteval. Really suffering from his success right now. We'll take it regardless. regardless. And kicking off season number 7, there is some bad news. Barrios is leaving the club for Man United because he didn't want to sign a new contract and he has left on a free. Which means this is what the lineup looks without him. Lavia has grown quite nicely, but I might try to find somebody better. However, the bad news doesn't stop there, as Estevao of all people has come into my office and says, it is known publicly that my dream club is FC Barcelona. These past 7 years have been a blessing here at Chelsea. I would like to request to leave whenever you feel ready so I can make my move finally to my dream club. And I tell Estevao, you know what, I completely understand. You've done amazing for this club, 3 Ballon d'Ors. I'll allow you to leave as of this season. So sadly, for 222 million, Estevao is now joining FC Barcelona. The one good news is he won't win Ballon d'Ors for our club anymore. So it gives us a chance to complete our objective. With 3 Premier League titles and still 1 Ballon d'Or winner, we have 4 seasons left to complete it all. So now this is what the squad is looking like. We of course need that right winger to replace Estevao. And boys, I think I found the 2 perfect replacements for our players. The first one being Lucas Bergvall, who is at AS Monaco, and the second one is Mikel Olise from Bayern Munich. I think he could be one of the players to win our 2 remaining Ballon d'Ors. So I went ahead and brought in those 2 superstars. For 90 million, we brought in Lucas Bergvall, and for 100 million, we brought in Mikel Olise. And regardless of the sales, this squad is still looking pretty strong. However, as you can see, Reece James is now back fit as he walks into my office and says, boss, it is good to be back. I feel amazing. My hamstrings have never felt better. However, it's time for me to take a step back. I don't mind sitting on the bench so Rico Lewis can continue to improve. So it seems like club captain wants to take a step aside and Lewis will be the starter from now on. And Samu has exploded this season with 47 goals, replacing Estevao. 24 and 27 for Musiala, 18 and 6 for Kvaratskhelia, 15 goals for Tyreek George. But boys, Mikel Olise has really let me down with only 5 goals and 4 assists. But regardless, he still massively grew to a 93 overall. Maybe he was impactful on the pitch, while everybody but Bergvall and Lewis are sitting at a 90 overall. How do we do this season? And yes, boys, we won the Prem again with 100 points, but no undefeated season. 1 loss again, come on. We win the Community Shield again. We also win the FA Cup, the treble is on, and we win the Carabao Cup. Let's go. And boys, we're in the Champions League final against Atalanta. If we win this, our job will be completed in only 7 seasons. And boys, they don't have a single superstar other than Nusa. This game has to be a win. And boys, is it time that we win the treble? It's Atalanta. It should be an easy victory. It's a 3-1 loss, as the Catalare, Moreira, and Wiper score the goals. This close to the treble. And yes, despite losing the Champions League, Kvaratskhelia wins the Ballon d'Or. That's our second Ballon d'Or winner. And now, boys, all we need is 1 more Premier League title, 1 more different Ballon d'Or winner, and the Treble and the Invincibles. With 3 seasons left, it's very possible. And to kick off season number 8, as you can see, Mike Penders is at a 91 overall, and Josh Achapong is at an 88. And that's because I've been loaning them out these past 8 seasons. So I bring in Mamardashvili and Upamecano into my office and say, boys, you guys have been incredible servants to Chelsea. I think it's time for the new generation to step up. So I would like for you guys to step aside, whether you want to sit on the bench or leave, as Josh and Penders are up next. Mamardashvili and Upamecano say, we both understand, but we wouldn't mind staying at the club and just helping them out grow. So as you guys can see, Mike Penders will be the number 1 and Josh Achapong will be the starting right center back. Let's see if we can complete all of our objectives starting from this season. And yes, boys, we have finally done it. We won the Premier League undefeated. 1 draw, 37 wins. Suck on that, Arsenal. But we failed to win the Community Shield. And we spank United for the FA Cup. The treble is on. And we also win the Carabao Cup trophy. But are we in the Champions League as we finished in first place? In the run of 16, we destroy AC Milan. In the quarterfinals, we beat RB Leipzig. And in the semis, we beat City. We're in the final against Barcelona. We have the Premier League and the Invincibles completed. If we win this game, we get the treble and potentially our 3rd and final Ballon d'Or winner. And if anyone's gonna win the Ballon d'Or, it's probably gonna be Samu with 37 goals. But Olise with 27 and 17 is a shout. 24 and 18 for Musiala. 23 and 14 for Santos. 18 and 9 for Kvaratskhelia. But oh my days, Barcelona have 44 goals and 15 Lamine Yamal. and 37 and 10 Estevao. Do we even have a chance of beating these two alone? And this could potentially be the final team of the entire takeover. Make sure to comment down below who was your favorite. But is it time to complete the treble as Andre Sante is injured for the final? Can we finally go ahead and do it? And it's a 5-4 victory as Bergvall, Musiala, Samu, and Olise's double gets us the treble. Let's go. And yes, we get our final Ballon d'Or winner in Olise and fixed Chelsea. If you guys enjoyed this video, click on the screen and watch me play the entire career of Ronaldo Jr. and maybe win him the World Cup.